Welcome back to Book Bingers, the podcast where two best friends talk about books, tropes, book boyfriends, wingspans, literally anything that comes to our minds. So thanks for joining us because today it is all about Emily Henry. Of course. I can't believe we haven't done this yet.
I know. We love her books so
much.
We
love Emily Henry's books, and we actually talk about her quite a bit as our stepping stone away from Colleen Hoover.
Yes. Yes.
So today we're going to go
she's a
into
good
it.
In-between to, like, some more smutty
Yeah. Before you get to Megan Quinn, let's start with Emily Henry.
Yeah. That's quite a ramp up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
skyrocket.
If you're not sure if, like, spice is for you, or you want more of the plot, less the spice, and maybe you want some off-page
or
things,
a book that you and your mom could read
and not be embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
Emily Henry has 5 books out, and we've read them all, and we're going to talk a little bit about each one, and then we'll tell you which ones are our favorite.
Yeah.
In, like, our order.
Yeah.
I don't even know if, we've never talked about, I actually don't even know if we have the same order or not.
It gets murky in the middle for me.
I think the middle is a little, I know for sure where my bottom one is.
I think everyone who has listened to this podcast should know what your bottom Emily Henry book is.
Listen, I have reasons. But okay, let's go into just like, let's start with Beach Read.
Yeah.
Beach Read was the first one I read.
I don't know if it was the first
or was it Book Lovers? I don't remember, but it was one of those two.
Yeah, it was an early one.
Let's start with Beach Read.
Beach Read, which is going to be a movie.
It is.
Which excites me.
Excites me so much.
Yeah.
Please don't ruin this movie. And I actually don't know if you really can because it is such a simple plot.
It is like a traditional rom-com. Do you know what I mean?
All of hers are very traditional. As we get going on into her more recent ones, they get a little more
nuanced.
A little more meaty with
a little more emotional.
Emotions, yeah. A little more gut-wrenching.
Yeah. Yeah, she's feeling things.
I would say if you've read Abby Jimenez and you love her, you will love Emily Henry. Yeah. I feel like they're very similar.
A few less tissues, but yeah.
Yeah, way less tissues. But like that kind of small town romance.
Yeah, very cute.
Okay, so Beach Read, we've got January Andrews, which, by the way, I love the name January. It's my birth month. Just let me throw that out.
It's a great word.
And we've got Augustus Everett.
Yes.
Which, fun fact,
January
I
and Gus.
almost named, if Everly would have been a boy, she was going to be named Everett.
Everett, not Augustus.
Not Augustus.
But she was born in the month of August.
She was! Oh my god! This is all clicking for me right now.
I feel like we need one of those whiteboards that just has all of the words and we'll just connect everything. To how Emily Henry actually named your children.
It's true. She was the inspiration. Yeah. They're both authors, but what's fun about this...
They write very different genres.
Very different. And they happen to be right across from each other in beach houses.
Yes.
And I love this. People think that Beach Read is going to be about beach reads.
Being on the beach.
On the beach.
In the summer.
No.
It's not.
It's actually not at all.
I think it's in the winter, isn't it? Like
it's
like
I think
not
it's
warm.
definitely off season.
It's not warm.
It's off season. It's not a crowded beach, and that's why they go there to be, secluded so they can write.
Go on a little writer's retreat.
Whatever. And they're both suffering from writer's block. Yeah. Fun, right?
Age-old problem.
Age-old problem. They have pretty different personalities, I would say.
Yes.
I don't even remember do you remember what genres he writes?
Doesn't he write like thriller, like political thriller
something not rom-com?
He writes boy books.
Yes, he writes boy books. Correct.
They end up at the bookstore. Remember, they both end up at the bookstore and they end up in book club. Like, because his book is like the book club book.
Correct.
And she gets roped into going to book club with these like nice old ladies.
Yeah, and she brings, they get drunk at book club. And he's kind of famous in that little town.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he's hot, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah, and she like doesn't like him.
Correct. And she's also dealing with the death of someone close to her.
Yes.
So she's like in this weird grieving process. The house that she's at actually belonged to her father, if I remember correctly. Oh, and there was a broken engagement. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, Augustus, aka Gus. He's got some trauma as well.
Yeah.
Okay, because obviously
we can't have two characters that are just
happy in life.
Yeah. What kind of story is that, please?
No. It is a slow burn, for sure. If I'm remembering correctly, at the beginning, she's pretty annoyed with him being across.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he had like a party the first night, and there was loud music, and
and it was like depressing music, if I remember correctly.
And he was like out on the deck, and she was out on the deck, you know.
Real meet cute, but in a grumpy kind of way.
Definitely grumpy sunshine.
Sunshine. So basically, they
challenge each other to write in each other's genres.
Correct.
And weirdly, that is a recipe for them to fall in love.
Right, because they agree to start doing like weekly like dates or something like that, where they each take each other on something that they would do. So a lot of romantic things happen because one of them's writing a rom-com. And it's adorable. Like it's a lot of witty banter. I really like this one. I think it's a really good one to start with Emily Henry. It's so cute. I
think it'll make a great movie.
I think it's going to make a fantastic movie.
Please cast correctly.
And I really am a sucker for like witty banter against each other, where it's like insulting but also flirting. I love it.
She does that very well.
I love it. Yeah. I love insulting, flirtatious moments. Yes. That is truly how my husband and I got together. Just like insulting each other.
Recipe for success.
In funny ways.
Yeah. It's like, it's the age-old like, he must like you. He's so mean to you.
Yes. Oh, that's like horrible.
And if our kids came to us today and said that, we'd be like, no. Absolutely not.
He's an asshole.
Don't talk to him.
No one should treat you like that. But does he make you laugh when he does it?
But maybe he doesn't mean it like that.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just likes you. God, but no, for real. So that's pretty much Beach Read in a nutshell. What star did you give it?
I want to say like a 4.
Yeah, I think I did too. I was like, oh, that's a
solid 4.
Strong romance and very quick read.
Absolutely. You're going to fly through it.
None of these are chunkies.
No.
Actually, my least favorite one is looking like the chunkiest one. Anywho, we'll get to that. I'm not even going to tell you in case this is the first one. I'll tell you at the end.
Yeah.
Hopefully you won't catch on until the end. People we meet on vacation.
I feel like this is the cover of this book and the title of this book just lend itself to people thinking like this is a perfect book to bring on vacation.
Right. In fact, I brought it on vacation and I read it in Mexico. A lot of these books are a little deceiving. They make you think they're vacation books. A lot of it
doesn't really take place on the vacation.
No. Okay, so people we meet on vacation is Poppy and Alex, best friends, completely different personalities.
Yes.
She's like, I'll talk to anybody, super outgoing, and he's more the timid
Very
one.
Reserved,
but together they complement each other, and it's called People We Meet on Vacation because they vacation together.
Every year, like once a year, they go on a vacation, and so a lot of this is written between like present day, which their relationship is not in a good place, their friendship is not in a good place, and the past, which is all of the vacations that they've taken.
Yeah.
And a lot of times on these vacations, they will like pretend to be different characters,
different people. Yeah, because she's going there usually because of her job.
Yeah, she's like
a vacation,
like influencer almost.
Yeah, basically.
So she's creating content for these different places.
Yeah.
For her job.
So yes, this is the first book of Emily Henry's where we see a different writing style from her.
Yeah.
Where we go back and forth.
Yeah, it's a very different. Yeah. So like if you don't like that type of writing, this I feel like is a little different to get into.
Before her most recent book, everyone would kind of put 2 and 2 together. You would have Book Lovers and Beach Reads, which was one style of hers, and you'd have Happy Place and People We Meet on Vacation. And People We Meet on Vacation was the first time we saw her go into this writing style. And when it's done well, it's done well. Yeah. Like when an author can go back and forth in time and you still you're not lost, you're still like, okay, I get where we are, I get what's happening. I love it.
The worst for me is when it feels like when you go in the past, like it drags, like you're not getting enough information and you just want to get back to present day.
Yeah.
Or you just want to like, okay, hurry it up so I can see, like I hate feeling like I just want to rush through because I'm not getting.
Correct. And I think this book did a pretty good job of you didn't mind going back in past because you were still trying to figure out where the rift, like why aren't they friends anymore?
Yeah. But you know, like you know that it's this very
at the end
last
of the day,
vacation. So you know you have to get to the end.
Yeah. What's interesting about this one is it's very obvious that one of them is in love with the other.
Yeah.
But the other one of them is just not
picking up on it.
Picking up on all the signs and all the clues that are there. And I think it takes place over like a very long period of time.
I want to say like 9 or 10
12 years, like 7,
like I
somewhere
said, like
between
12
7 and 12
years.
It's a lot. It's a lot of years. So there's a lot of vacations, a lot of things that go great on some of these vacations or go wrong on some of these vacations. But of course, in the end, it's a romance.
There's a one bed situation.
There is a one bed situation, and that's one of my favorite tropes. But of course, once they finally just say what should have been said years ago, they end up together, and it's great.
It is a classic friends to lovers.
Classic friends to lovers. Definition of a slow burn.
Definition. Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Is it like they're on vacation and you feel like you're on vacation reading it?
No.
So
same with like beach read. That it's not like it's a tropical vacation.
All of these kind of trick you with like the bright, colorful.
Correct. The one that actually is pretty true to its cover is Book Lovers.
True.
Yeah,
that one doesn't give you much of.
No, it's just like two people sitting on some cushions of books, and I love Book Lovers. I
think this is the only one that I've reread.
Well, we did it for
because
book club.
We did it for book club.
Yeah, we did this one for book club. Maybe this is. I can't remember if I read Book Lovers or Beach Read first. Maybe it was Book Lovers, but I really like this one.
I love this one.
I think I rated this one 4.5
Yeah, this one is very close to a 5-star.
And I really like that one. And it takes a lot for me to give a romance 5 stars, just because if you've read one, you've read them all, it feels like sometimes. So usually it has to be something kind of unique and different for me to give it a 5 stars. Megan Quinn. Let's talk about Book Lovers.
Yes. He's grumpy.
He's grumpy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she is, she's a literary agent, which I wouldn't call her sunshine. Do you know what I mean?
wouldn't call her sunshine
kind of grumpy.
They're two grumpy grows, you know?
People will refer to her as like an ice queen. Like,
in fact, there's a book being written about her where they refer to her as that.
Yeah.
Rough, by the way. So we've got Nora
and Charlie.
And they go to now this is like small town.
Yeah.
Sunshine
Falls, like North Carolina, I think.
Something.
They're originally from New York City.
Yes.
And Nora's sister, her and her sister go away for a getaway.
Yeah, they have like a bucket list, if you will.
Yes. Yes. It is a bucket list.
Yeah. Is it actually called bucket list?
Yeah, and it might be. And the whole thing, like, you know that they're there for a reason. Like, the sister has something to tell her.
Yeah.
And we just don't know what that is until, like...
Correct.
At the end. But, like, as a sister, you know that there's something going on that she just doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
But it ends up being a very eye-opening situation for Nora because she runs into Charlie.
Who is?
He's an editor.
Uh-huh.
And she had already met him.
Yeah.
And it was not a good first...
It didn't go great. In fact, it went horrible. Like they had a meeting in New York. Lunch. I don't even know if they even got through food.
Yeah.
But like it was
awful.
Bad. It was awful. And so she hates him. She sees him in like a coffee shop, which by the way, all the names of everything in the small town are so cute.
I know.
It's like giving everything you want from a small town. Like to me, this is actually more of a vacation read than the other ones because they're going somewhere else on a vacation, and you're getting.
And I always love
a
small town.
I do too. You can do anything with characters in a small town that you can't do in
like
a big
you always
city.
get like the quirky side characters.
There's always someone that works in a coffee shop that is just like either really cool or like really funny.
Yes, there's like the dive bar.
Yeah. There's always a
Charlie's
cool
family
bookstore.
owns a bookstore. He has his car bed
Yes.
at his parents' house. The one thing with Emily Henry books is there's a lot of
Easter eggs that connect.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And so
does she work there? Like, she goes to the library a lot. Is she just working there?
She's working there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
She's working.
She's like working.
She's doing work
there,
but not getting paid.
Yeah, I was like, but if she's there all the time.
Yes. He's working there.
Yes.
Yes. He came back to work at the bookstore.
It's all coming back to me now. So they end up spending a lot of time together.
Yes.
We start to find out that Charlie is not the asshole that we think he is at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
There's a lot
There's
more.
nothing like getting the peek behind the grumpy.
There's a lot more to why he's grumpy.
There's some skinny dipping.
There is.
Scandalous.
It's very scandalous. These two, I think I fell in love with immediately. Like, I was like, they need to be together.
Charlie is one of, like, I think, top tier.
For real. Like, there's some fun bar scenes, like in the divey bar. There's just, it's giving everything I want.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, there's like another guy that tries to take her out, and you're like, and he's a great guy too.
And he's like he's so good looking.
He's everything you would want.
He's like the small town.
He's not the guy that you're like, not him.
No.
He's not a dick.
He's nice. He's
hot.
good looking. Like, he has a job.
He's interested in her. Yes. He's like communicating his feelings. He's everything you would put on paper that you want. Yeah. But you're like, no. He's not the one for you.
No. Yes.
You need someone that'll challenge you. Yes.
And there's a she moves away moment, there's distance and
oh god, it's just
yeah.
I think this is top tier for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has that like that grand like big moment at the end.
Yeah, it's like the big declaration of love.
Yes.
The grand gesture.
That's the one.
That's
the one.
None of the other books really. Well, that's not true. We'll get to another one that has kind of a grand gesture, but like it is.
And honestly,
with this one.
This was rated very high for our book club.
Okay, so out of the 12 books, because we do book clubs once a month, out of the 12 books we did, and we did some heavy hitters. I mean, we had done Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Powerless,
Divine Rivals,
One Rear Window. We had done some big heavy hitters. This came in third place.
Yes, yeah. Everyone loved it.
I mean, I was blown away. I mean, people that didn't even like romance books love this one.
Yeah.
So, I highly recommend.
A great place to start.
Highly recommend starting with book lovers. Yeah. Because you'll be hooked on Emily Henry.
Also, you'll freaking love Charlie.
Let's go to Happy Place. Happy Place is our bright pink
so this one came out last year.
This one came out last year. This is going to be in the same writing style as People We Meet on Vacation. So it's going to go back and forth in time.
Yeah.
This one is the first one by Emily Henry where we get a little bit of gut punch happening.
Yeah, it feels less of... There is romance. Obviously, there is the romance. But we get more of the friendship.
We get a lot of side plots.
Side plots and like... There's this group of college friends. So, like, there's a group of, 4 girls, 3 guys,
I think it's 3 girls, but then one of them has her partner. And she comes into the mix, and so they kind of become 4. And it really has this story of course, the love, but then what happens in your friendships?
When you are best friends in college, but then you become adults?
And you don't live in the same city anymore.
How does it change?
How do relationships change your friendship?
And I will say...
I loved that part of it.
As, like, someone living in my mid-30s when I'm reading this, and seeing so many friendships change...
Yeah.
It really hit.
It really hit home.
Really hit.
It really hit. I think this is a perfect one for someone who is... in their late 20s and on. I think if you're still in your early 20s, it just won't hit the same way with that friendship
You'll like
dynamic.
it, but like maybe it'll just scare you.
It might, maybe it is something good to be like, hey,
to be aware of this
happen.
Yeah.
So basically, the story is about Harriet and Wynne, and we know from the beginning of the book that they were engaged. And now they're not. And they have not told their friends. They have not told their friends because every year they take this big trip and they don't want to ruin the trip for anybody because it's going to be the last time they're able to go.
Yeah, it's like
to this lake house.
Lake house, but someone owns it and they're selling it.
Yeah,
so
one of the friends like
this
parents
is the last
own
hurrah.
It. Yeah, and it's giving a Cape Cod vibe to me, and it's not in Cape Cod, but that's all I can picture. Yeah, that's all I can picture is like
very New England type
more of
setting.
a high end. Small town versus the other ones that were like small town.
Yeah, these are the kids in college
this is a beach town.
I didn't fit in with because we didn't have enough money.
Correct. You know what I mean? Like, yes, this is like giving
everyone's
New
wearing
England
Lily Pulitzer
to me. Yeah.
And pop collars. And they're just things that I just couldn't afford. And that's what
same. But this is a vacation I would love to go on.
Absolutely. So if you have a lake house and you want to invite us.
What's fun about this one is nobody knows that they're not together, so they have to pretend they hate each other. Like, hate each other right now. We don't know why until we keep going back and forth in time. But they have to pretend to be together, so of course it would be weird if they aren't sharing a room. Mm-hmm. So they have to share a
forced one bed.
I love it so much.
Forced proximity.
You get those moments of them pretending to still be in love, and you see
the moments where they're like, but this is why I loved him. And
yes.
This is why,
and you're like, why aren't you two together? Like, what's happening? And you see that their love started so innocent and pure when we go back in time at this house. Yeah. And, oh, God, it's devastating. It's devastating because it's not one of those they broke up because either one of them did anything bad or wrong. It was a lot of, and I don't want to say miscommunication because I hate a miscommunication trope. It wasn't. It felt very real. Like, this is why people wouldn't be together. Yes. They lived in different cities. Mm-hmm. One had a very demanding job in the, like, medical field, and one's job didn't take off the way that you thought it would, and he had to go back home and take care of family, and but when they're together you see like how perfect they are.
This is their last chance basically,
and like they know they need to tell their friends, but then there's like a lot of friendship things going on too.
There's like everyone has kind of like a big thing reveal that they haven't told anyone. And so it's leading to a lot of resentment, like, within the group. And it's, like, remember when they go to, like, get the tattoo? Yeah. And then, there's a big fight about it. Yeah. And it just, it feels very much like something that could happen in real life. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. We're like, we're going to have this big hurrah, but somehow everyone's in tears and fighting and big reveals and all of this stuff. It felt very real. And another kind of declaration of love at the end of this one, like a gesture that just, I don't want to give it away, but it pulled me in, and I was like, I can't. I love it so much. It really, and it also showed a lot of like, if you don't love what you do in your job, kind of moments, don't settle for it. Like it's never too late to change. That, and that was, I don't know, it just really like where we are in our life. I think it just really like hit, and I think a lot of people can relate to the themes in this book.
The amount of, this has nothing to do with any of this, but the amount of times that I've seen a post that's like people who became wildly successful or like famous, and it's not until they're like 40, 45, 50. And meanwhile, I'm over here like, I'm washed up. It's done.
It's done. Game over.
It is what it is.
And that brings us to the last Emily Henry book, which is the most recent one, Funny Story. And that came out this year. Boy, I did not know where we were going to go with this because we had two in one writing style, two in another, and I was like, which one is this one going to be? And it kind of had its own thing.
It kind of felt very separate.
I don't know if I'd compare it to either of them. We don't jump back in time, I don't think. Do we? No, there's no jumping back in time in this one. But these characters, she hadn't done this trope yet.
No. This was great.
Go ahead and tell me. The beginning, like,
So we have Daphne and Miles.
Yes.
And there was a friend group of 4. Mm-hmm. And they were, Daphne was dating Peter, and Miles was dating Petra.
Yes.
And,
but But Peeta and Petra were the ones that had been friends.
Peter and Petra were friends, like childhood friends. Like their families were friends.
And so our main characters, Daphne and Miles, were the ones dating those two.
Yes.
That's the only
and
reason.
And so that's the only reason they were ever
even
acquaintances.
Knew of each other.
Do you know what I mean? And
of course, Petra hated Daphne and Peter hated Miles.
Yeah. And what ends up happening is Peter and Petra decide they want to be together.
Which is like right after
Daphne and Peter get engaged. They get a house. She decorated the whole house.
I mean, they're like about to get married. Yeah. Like she's got all the things.
No. So she has no other choice. She literally needs to find somewhere else to live.
Yeah, and am I wrong, or does he take her on their honeymoon? Like Petra. Yes. Like he goes on a vacation with her and he's like, you need to be out by the time I get back from vacation.
Like she's in the driveway, like and so she ends up moving in
because it was his bachelor party. She
went to his bachelor party.
Petra was his best friend, so she went to his bachelor party and that night confessed her love for him. So the day after his bachelor party, he's like, you gotta be gone in a week. And so she's like, where the fuck do I go? But of course, who else is burned in this scenario is Petra's boyfriend, Miles. So now he's alone, and so he comes to her place to like cuss out Peter, and she's like, he's not here, and he left with Petra, and she cries, and he's like, I guess you can come live with me.
Yeah.
So now we have two super sad people living together
who are barely acquaintances.
They barely know each other except what they know from their significant other about each other.
Is not good because neither of their significant others liked the other person.
Correct.
So she thinks Miles is just like a stoner loser,
slob, horrible,
like unsuccessful, doesn't nothing.
Yeah. And he thinks that she's just this like kind of like stuck up teacher girl, like goody two shoes. Yeah. And I couldn't help but picture New Girl's Jake and what was her
Jess
face?
And Nick.
Jess and Nick. Yeah, I was going with her real name, Jake Johnson, and yes, Jess and Nick. That's all I could picture. I don't even know how they were described,
Doesn't
but
matter.
my brain went to those two.
And you're not the only one.
Oh, great.
So I think that is
great.
Spot on.
Good.
Yes, it was very similar. Like their whole relationship. Oh, the banter in this one is so good.
Off the charts with the banter.
It's next level.
Off the charts. Of course, we find out that they were both very wrong about each other.
Yeah.
And through their grief, they decide like we have to start doing stuff.
Well, there comes a wedding invitation for Peter and Petra.
And they're like,
these fucking assholes. No. Can you imagine being like, we should invite them?
Yeah, like fuckers. You know what we're gonna do?
And so they were drunk, and they're like, we're gonna RSVP. We're gonna say that we're
together.
dating.
Let's start taking pictures, posting it on social media, and we got to start doing these dates.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get her out of this sadness.
And he's like the sweetest.
He's the best. He's just like Nick.
Yeah, and he's like friends with all of the like
everyone
in town, all of the little farm stands.
He does all of these like charity things.
He helps old people. Like,
yes, and just like Jess, she's like trying to do this like charity for like books, readers, other things.
Oh yeah, she works at the library.
Yeah, she works at the library,
and she's doing this readathon.
She does these like adorable like kids stories,
because she has some baggage from her youth with her parents. Mm-hmm. And the library was a haven for her.
He has some pretty major baggage too, and his sister at one point comes and stays with them, and they both have been obviously burned in love as well, but through fake dating and doing these things, we find out that obviously Miles is not just this like stoner. I mean, he definitely smokes it up, but he's not like this just like stoner that has nothing. He actually has a very successful place that he works at. Yeah. This bar that he works at is actually amazing.
Like a vineyard.
It's like a vineyard.
Yeah.
It's not just some like shitty bar that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
She becomes friends with this other woman at the library who also has her own baggage, and it's just. Oh, it was just so great to actually see a character that was like a mom and like in her 40s as well. Not the main character, but the friend. I felt like there was a lot of representation happening.
And also like there's a huge moment between Daphne and her friend that is like real bad.
It's real bad, but also showed what it's like for two adults to have communication through a real fight.
Yeah. And see how you come out on the other side of that. And it's not just, it really, there's a lot of shades of gray with it, and a lot of compassion.
It does a really good job of making you see both sides of the fight. Which a lot of time when you're in the fight, you only see your side. So it was very interesting to me to see that in here. She's getting really good at doing. Oh, I cried.
I laughed. I giggled. It had everything.
This one had moments where I was like kicking, like excited, like oh my god,
like giddy.
There was some steamy moments there was this like makeout session on the couch that I was like,
and the thing is like it's not overly explicit.
No,
but. Man, it feels like she ramped it up on this one.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Like, just the makeup session on the couch, I was like, oh my god.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. I think Miles might be my number one guy.
Yeah.
It's real close between him
and Charlie.
Yeah. But like, damn. This one was so good. I don't even know.
I know.
I don't even know.
You're blushing.
I know. I was like, maybe we should pick this one this year for a book club.
I mean,
saying based on how much I liked Book Lovers,
I feel like we probably owe it to Emily Henry to do it.
I feel like we
again.
Do. Okay, so that's a little bit about each book, but now tell me, what's your order? Start from. Do you want to start from the bottom and work your way up, or do you want to start from the top?
I feel like I need to like.
I know you gotta look at them. This is why we have the prop.
Yep. We had a long discussion on whether we should keep those books there.
I know. I was like, why?
For everyone who's listening, we have all the books stacked in front of us.
But for all of you watching on YouTube,
so
are you starting from the bottom or top? What's easier for you?
So I think.
Okay, you're gonna go topsies.
I think that's me.
Okay,
so,
but they can't see you.
Okay, so at the bottom, on the bottom
we have
People We Meet on Vacation.
Uh-huh.
And then Beach Read.
Uh-huh.
Then Happy Place. Then Book Lovers. Then Funny Story.
But wait, I think that's my exact order. Well, same.
Color me shocked. This has never happened before. Never.
For me, Funny Story just took the cake.
Absolutely it did.
It was just two people that I felt so connected to immediately.
Yeah. You were like rooting for them from the get-go.
Whole time. Now, when it comes to second place, I actually feel like I'm really torn between my tie. They're so different.
So part of me is like, did I put Book Lovers second because I read it twice? Do I think that if I read Happy Place twice,
correct,
I might put it
I know what
there.
you mean. I know
what I mean?
These two are interchangeable for me.
Yeah.
As second place. It just depends on my mood.
Yeah.
And then for sure comes Beach Read. And then People We Meet on Vacation, I just straight up didn't like. I just straight up did not like it.
If you were really paying attention, you'll notice that we didn't say what our star ranking was when we went by People We Meet on Vacation. That was on purpose.
I'm just saying, it had nothing to do with the writing, and I can see why people like it. For me, it just felt like the main guy was so timid. I need a guy that's going to take charge at some point in the story.
Yeah.
Like, we were like, ooh, there was a one bed. Yeah, he slept on the ground. They didn't even share a bed. I remember getting to that scene being like, oh, here we go. Here we go. They're going to have to share a room. What? You slept on the floor? What's happening? And she just felt so oblivious to the obvious love he had for her for that many years. I just thought, how can you be this close with someone and not
choose to never pick it up?
But also, he just seemed so boring compared to her. Wild, spontaneous, crazy. She was doing some things, too, that I was like, as a mom, I was like, you did not just get in a car with a stranger and go to his house.
A possible Easter egg of People We Meet on Vacation in Funny Story.
Correct.
So there's a point where they go on like a kayak.
Kayak, yeah.
In the morning, and there's this deranged couple that's like arguing that they see, and I'm pretty sure the internet has informed me that it is one of the
she does a really
couples
good job of putting
that they pretend to be.
Each book has something from another book that if you're paying attention, little Easter eggs, which is fun. It doesn't take away from the books at all. You can read them in any order. There's no interchangeable stories here. They're all standalones.
Yes.
But I really truly think choose anyone except people with me on vacation.
Oh my God! Look at this is from when we went to a book release party for Funny Story, and they did Emily Henry trivia, and we were so bad at it. We were
so bad because we had all of them had just kind of recently read them, gearing up, and we had read them a long time ago. And if there's one thing you should know about me, it's I don't remember anything I read. Names, places,
get out of here.
Stop. Like, are you joking me? I remember one of the questions being like, what drink did they have at book club? Like, I don't know. I think I put sangria. I was like, I don't know.
You didn't write the correct answer, so in my mind, it was sangria.
Like, I don't remember. Nope. Unless I just read it, it's gone. If I read, do you know how many books I must have read in between these books? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books.
We did not have a good showing.
We sure didn't. I felt like, whoops. To be fair, a lot of people got a lot wrong. Some of them were really hard.
Except for those couple girls who just, they must be absolute super fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Don't let me bore you. On that note,
listen, we're a tad hungover.
We are. I do want to let you guys know that there will be no episode next week because we are taking the week for the 4th of July holiday.
Yeah, we're taking it off.
Yeah, we're taking it off after 21 episodes.
But that's months, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey, happy 20th.
Yeah, so we'll be back
the next week.
The next Friday.
Yeah.
With
Is that the 12th? I don't know.
Wow, really good. I don't know if it's the 12th, but sure. It sounds good. It sounds like the math would math.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay.
5+7.
Around,
Yeah.
July 12th. Catch an all-new episode of Book Bingers.
We'll see you then.
Or we'll see you on another time.
Or that too.